Welcome to the Magnetic Creator Podcast. I'm your host, Melanie Mishler, and each week we have intimate conversations about the things that matter most in life. My superpower is helping you remember who you truly are, a powerful, magical creator. I give you proven tools to help you get unstuck and manifest a life that sets your heart on fucking fire. Are you ready? Let's go. Hello, my beautiful friend. Happy Thursday. Welcome back. This week, I want to teach you a simple tool to increase your visualization capacity. Now, this is super important because when it comes to manifestation, the secret is to be able to enter into your desired state. And by this, I mean being able to visualize it fully in vibrant sensory detail. That means what things look like, what they smell like, what they feel and taste like, even the humidity in the air. Being able to visualize and access all these sensory details are the keys to unlocking your manifestation superpower. And often what happens is when I teach manifestation or visualization, even guided meditation, I often hear people say, I wasn't able to see anything, or I'm not able to visualize, or I don't have the ability to visualize, almost like that sense is just broken for them. But friend, you do have it because this is a skill that we all possess and we all have the capacity to enhance it. Just like if you go to the gym, it builds muscles. Practicing some simple visualization techniques can help you increase your ability and help you unlock that power. So the very first step in increasing your capacity for visualization is to simply stop saying, I can't do that, or it doesn't work for me, or I don't see anything. Because when you do this, you're essentially just shooting yourself in the foot. Every time you say, I can't do it, or it's hard for me, you're continuously reaffirming something that you don't want. So let's just stop that shit right now. And instead of saying that you can't do it, adopt a new phrase like, visualization is a skill that all humans have, and I can increase my capacity for this. If you're someone who struggles with this, I know you might be tempted to think that you are the exception, that somehow this skill just bypassed you, but I promise you are not the exception. You have the ability just like I do, just like everyone does. Okay, so let me share a little example of how visualization can start to build and increase. A while back, I was leading a guided meditation, and at the end, my client said, I couldn't see anything. And when I asked if she had a sense of anything, she replied, no, all I kept getting was the color purple. So I said, wait a second. Seeing purple is something. We don't want to discount even the tiniest hits we get or the tiniest visualizations we get, because that's the first step. We want to acknowledge those and then build on them. Okay. So what often happens though is that we judge what we see. For instance, maybe during a guided visualization, you don't see exactly what's being described, but maybe random things pop into your head, like a bird, a squirrel, your to-do list, the laundry that needs to get done. It doesn't matter what it is. Those are visualizations in your head. Instead of discounting them because they don't align with the guided meditation, simply acknowledge them because you felt something, you sensed something, and all of those are important. Okay, so today I'm going to give you a quick tool to increase your visualization capacity. Now, this technique comes from one of my favorite manifestation teachers, Charles Haanel. He was a quote, New Thought teacher from the early 1900s. And you might know that some of my favorite manifestation teachers are from the late 1800s, early 1900s. And back then, they were called New Thought teachers, even though none of these thoughts are old. All of these skills have been practiced for centuries. And why we're not taught this growing up is just beyond me because it's such important skills. Manifesting is our birthright. Okay, here's the tool. First thing, I want you to find a photograph of something familiar. Maybe it's someone that you love, a house that you grew up in, maybe it's a place that you enjoy going, and make sure it's a physical photograph. I don't want it to be something on your phone because your phone is a distraction. So get a physical photograph, and then next thing you're going to do is sit in a comfortable chair, upright, in a quiet space without distractions. Give yourself the space and time to really focus on increasing your capacity. And to do this effectively, you have to be completely distraction free. And that means turning off your phone, even from vibration, because I'm telling you, when your phone is in silent mode, it's still fucking annoying. And this is only going to take 5 minutes. So give yourself that space for 5 minutes. And then you're going to simply study the photograph. Study it for 3 to 5 minutes. Really, really study the photograph. Look at every color, texture, feature, just every little detail. And then once you're done studying it, I want you to close your eyes and try and recall as much detail from the photograph as possible. Now, at first, this might seem stupid or trivial, but if you practice this daily for a couple of weeks, you will start building your confidence and your ability to visualize. And remember, this capacity to see and place ourselves physically and emotionally into our desires is your superpower. It's the master key for creating anything that you want in this world. Now, let's explore a couple of options to this technique so that you can kind of keep things fresh and evolving. One variation of this is to try focusing on different senses. So instead of just visually recalling the photograph, imagine the sounds that are associated with the scene. For instance, if it's a photo of maybe your kid at the beach, you can think about hearing the waves crashing and the seagulls and things like that. You can also notice or focus on textures. Imagine what it would feel like to touch the different elements in the photo, like the rough bark of a tree or the smooth surface of glass or the fur of your puppy. For a more challenging exercise, try to visualize a scene from different perspectives. So for instance, from above or from a different angle, and imagine what it would look like. And then the last variation for this is to practice extending the photo. And what this means is you might want to visualize just what's beyond the frame. So I know obviously you can't see this because we're looking at a physical photo, but what would you imagine beyond the photo? Or how might the landscape change at different times of the day with shadows and things like that? So practicing with these variations, it not only keeps your visualization practice interesting, but it also helps to develop different aspects of your skills, making your mental imagery more like vivid and multisensory. Because you hear me say this all the time, your senses is the master key in manifesting. There's another more advanced technique that I teach my clients, and I teach it in my courses. But for those who struggle with visualization, I really think this is the easiest place to start. Okay, and since you know I'm equal parts woo-woo, neuroscience, and strategy, let's talk a little bit about the brain science behind this and why visualization is the most powerful skill you can hone. When you visualize, you're not just daydreaming. You're actually rewiring your brain. Neuroscientists have found that imagery affects so many cognitive processes in the brain: motor control, attention, perception, planning, memory. So when you visualize an action, you stimulate the same brain regions as you do when you actually perform the action. This means your brain basically cannot tell the difference between when you're imagining something and when it's actually happening. This is why Olympic athletes use this visualization process to improve their performance. But it goes way beyond physical tasks, because when you vividly imagine your goals or vividly imagine what you want to create in your life, your brain starts to build new neural pathways to support that outcome. It's almost like you're laying down a mental roadmap for success. So when you practice visualization for manifestation, we're not just engaging wishful thinking. We're literally changing our brain chemistry and programming our mind and our body to receive what we want. I want you to remember that every small step counts. And whether you call it manifesting, setting a goal, going after something you want, whatever you call it, it's an active process. It is not a passive process where you just throw some things on a vision board and they magically come to you. It requires us preparing our mental landscape. It requires action on our part. It's mental action, but it's very, very important action. Okay, my friend, I hope that this was helpful. I hope that you use this tool. Go out and try this. It's such a helpful tool, and being able to grow that muscle of visualizing exactly what you want to create in this world is really the first step in getting it. So I hope you have a beautiful week, my friend. Keep manifesting epic shit, and I will see you next week.